morning, sewing friends. So I'm here to talk to you today about soft basic pants. So my daughter and I were in Chicago over the weekend. We stopped in at one of the fast fashion retailers, Zara, and I picked up, so you don't have to, these soft basic pants. Now they are a wide leg, as you can see, elastic waist, no pockets, basic pant with more or less a flat elastic, and I'll show you that on me. Now, you can make a pant like this with no side seams, there's no pockets. You can make a pant like this in about 20 minutes with something from your stash. So let me show you how to do that. So these are obviously a sweater knit, and so are the ones I'm wearing, so I'm going to show you that as well. So I wore a tank top for you. This is how the waistband fits, so you can see that these pants are smooth at the top. Okay, I got a little mom belly there, but it's okay. They're smooth at the top. The elastic fits relatively snug, and then they flow gracefully into a pair of wide legs. Now these are a little long, they need to be hemmed. By the way, the jacket is the Megan Nielsen Hovea jacket. This top is a free cycled sleeveless sweater from, I think, Michael Kors. I got it in a free cycling bag, of all things. If you can believe that, or maybe Poshmark, I can't remember. But anyway, this is a very quiet luxury look. You might see a look with these knits from brands like Loro Piana. You might see it from Quince. You might see a look like this from, I'm trying to think who are some other retailers. On the more sporty side, you might see an Athleta look like this, but this is more Loro Piana, and Quince would be two of the brands that you would see out there that had these kind of soft knits. So I'm going to show you how to make one pair in 20 minutes, and then I'm going to show you some fabrics. So the pattern that I really like is the Christine Johnson taper and wide leg pant, which I'm going to put up there, and then I'm going to come forward and show you these, and I'm going to also show you an option to do a really nice pocket that's very discreet. Let's just put it that way. You won't even notice they're hardly there. So this is the basic pant that we're talking about. And this is a slightly different elastic waist, but in my blog post at sewparadise.com, I'm going to show you how to make this version of the waist without a separate waistband. There is a trick for this, and I'm going to explain it, but I'm also going to show you some more details at my blog. So I'm going to explain it a little bit, and then I'm going to show you on my blog. So definitely check it out at sewparadise.com. So this is a basic elastic waist pant. It has, this one has side seams, but this pattern has no side seams. These are cropped, so they're a little shorter than usual. The only difference in this basic pant is that instead of going with the taper, because it comes with this, you can see it's got a slight taper. If you notice, these pants are not tapered. They go straight from knee to hem. And that's an easy thing that you can do right when you're drawing the pattern out, like literally when you're drawing the pattern out. You can make them go straight from knee to hem, and you're only drawing a line on the fabric. You don't even need to change the pattern. If you want to change the pattern, you can trace a copy off and then make yourself a wide leg version, so then you can just make them over and over again, but you don't even have to do that. So this basic pant, with some modifications in the waist, so the waistband, becomes this soft pant. Now, fabric and sewing techniques are key for this, but I promised you I would show you the pocket, and I'm going to, because I made them in these pink pair that I wear in the summertime. Can you see the pocket? You can't see the pocket, can you? I'm going to come forward so you can see the pocket. See? Look at that. Whoa, look at that pocket. So nice. Can't even see it. So this pocket is sewn into, this is a no side seam pant pattern. You can see there's no side seam here, but there's a little dart. And this pocket gets sewn into a dart at the top of the pants. And then it gets inset like this into here. And because it's a knit, and it only has, it's not free floating on the inside, it's actually stitched down on the inside. You can see that it's just like one layer stitched down. So it's not two layers like a normal pocket. And you can't even see that pocket in these pants. So this would be my choice for the pants that I'm wearing, the soft basic pant in a sweater knit or a printed sweater knit. And there's lots of opportunities for sweater knits. I have posted a whole bunch of links, including ones to the same kind of soft brushed fabric. These knits, I posted a whole bunch of links at sewparadise.com in my blog post on these particular pants, so you guys can check it out. I did like 4 or 5 links, I think. I might even stick a couple more in there, just because you can get the same exact fabric, nicer fabric even than this, and make yourself a pair in 20 minutes. You don't even have to get the effort of going onto Zara's website and buying a pair. And then waiting 4 days for them to come or whatever it is. You can have a pair this afternoon if you want to. So this basic pant, this is again a cropped version of the basic pant. This basic pant is super simple to sew. It's like total beginner friendly. If you've never sewn pants before, this is a great one to start with. And if you've never sewn on knits before, the most important thing you need to know with these stable sweater knits is that you're going to be using a stretch needle or a ballpoint needle for stretch fabrics. You're going to lengthen your stitch length a little bit. And if you don't have a serger, no big deal. You're going to use 2 zigzag stitches next to each other in the inner like seam. You're going to use a narrow one along the seam line, and you're going to use a wider one in the seam allowance. That is stable enough for you to be able to wear these pants. They won't come out, I promise. You'll have plenty of stretch. And I'll also tell you a little bit about kind of explaining how to do the waistband, but you'll read more about it at the blog. So soft basic pants. All right, so let's take a look at some fabrics before I start talking about construction. So I have this really nice printed sweater knit. This is a sweater knit, I'm not kidding you. This soft brushed on the outside and smooth on the inside. So it's soft and brushed on the outside. This really wonderful stretch knit. This would be perfect for these soft pants. Of course, you have to match a plaid, so if that's not your thing, don't choose this as your first one. But this is a really nice choice for this. You can also go with a regular sweater knit. So this is a sweater knit that is smooth-ish on the inside, but brushed on the outside. You can see it's got a little soft texture here, brushed on the outside. That would be another great choice, okay, a little stretchy. Or you could choose a little heavier weight. You could choose a French terry, so it's looped on the back, but textured on the top. The whole key thing with this look, is these are all neutral fabrics, neutral colors. They are soft, brushed knits, and they're not overly stretchy. They're a little heavier weight. They're not overly stretchy. So that's the key thing when making these pants. Now, let's talk about waistbands for a minute. So this waistband in the instructions, they have, this one I made a casing, so I'm not going to show you that one. I can make this one this way. No, this one I did casing too. Okay, so these are not cased waistbands, but it is a fold-over waistband. And then what Christine normally has you do in the instructions for this is you actually apply the elastic to the wrong side. So imagine this was the raw edge. You apply the elastic to the wrong side and you zigzag it along the whole top. And then you fold the whole thing to the inside, and that encloses the elastic. And then you top stitch that elastic down. But what I'm going to show you is a little different, because you can do the same thing and get the same banded look slightly different. So instead of, and I'm going to come forward and show you, so instead of applying the elastic here, let's present it, and this is our raw edge. Instead of applying the elastic to the top here, right at the top, the way Christine has you do in the instructions, you're going to apply it 1/4 inch down. And then you're going to zigzag, same as you would. So you're going to have a little 1/4 inch flap at the top. And then you're going to, instead of just folding it down like this, okay, and then top stitching, right, which would make it look like the other pants, you're going to actually take and you're going to fold the whole thing backwards. And what I mean by that is you're going to fold the whole thing backwards so that your little flap, okay, sticks out. Okay, so you're going to have your elastic and then your flap. And I'm going to see if I can get a piece of elastic here and show you if I have one in my sewing kit. So hang on one second. Let me just see if I can find a piece of elastic just randomly hanging around here I can show you. Now, when you want a piece of elastic, you can never find one, right? Okay. I don't have elastic, but I'm going to give you an example with some ribbing. Okay, so pretend this is elastic. Looks like elastic, doesn't it? But it's not stretchy at all. Okay, so normally what you would do is you would apply the elastic to the wrong side, and you would, up here, and you would zigzag along the edge, and then you would flip it to the inside and top stitch. That's the way those pants are constructed, normally. But what I'm asking you to do is drop this down 1/4 inch, zigzag along this edge, and then flip this whole thing backwards. Okay? So you're flipping it to the right side. Now what you end up with is a 1/4 inch flap with your zigzagged elastic. You're going to actually stitch, when you stitch the pants, because remember you have a zigzag right here, right? The zigzag down. You're going to actually stitch this flap, the loose raw edge flap, to the body of the pants. And then you're going to flip. And what that does is it's going to create a look that looks like this. It's going to create a stitch through like this, but you're going to have, and I don't recommend that you serge your first time. And I'll put some diagrams in there to show you as well. I don't recommend that you serge the first time because you want to make sure you got this right, but you can certainly zigzag. And then if you want to go over it with serging, you can. But this is like a flipped backwards technique. And this also makes great like cuffs if you don't use elastic and you want a banded cuff or a banded hem. Same technique. Right, so this is a faux band hem, and I'll post some instructions. And I think I might have even done a video on this for Christine Johnson when I was doing some stuff for her. So I'll see if I can post a video so you guys can see it. But that would create a faux banded waist. Now the key thing with the waistband of this is that the pants at the top and the waistband are more or less the same width, meaning that the pants at the top need to fit you snug at the waist and the high hip. So as you're fitting these pants, you're going to want to make sure that the size that you choose and the fit that you have echoes this, right? So that essentially the pants are the same size as your elastic waistband. Now, excuse me, let me grab a little tea here. So Christine does a really nice job at this because she has tissue pattern measurements in with the pattern. And what that means is that you can more accurately pick your exact size in these pants because she's going to tell you exactly how wide this is. So you're going to measure yourself with your tape measure, stick it around you, measure yourself with your tape measure, and you're going to come back and measure the pant on the pattern. Because it's a no side seam pant pattern, it's going to be much easier to measure. You're just going to take away 5/8 of the 2 inner leg seams, and that's the exact distance around. So for you, if you are, say, 34 at the waist, you're going to want to make sure that the pants are 34 plus the 2 seam allowances of 5/8 of an inch. That's it. That means the pants are going to fit snug at the top here. The elastic is going to be your waistband size elastic, and you're going to end up with that nice, smooth, flat look, not a gathered look like you would see at the top. Now, this all sounds terribly complicated, I know, but these pants are total beginner-friendly pants. If you have never sewn pants before, these are the pants I recommend because they are that simple. It's literally an inner leg seam, a crotch seam, a waistband, and if your knits don't ravel, you don't even have to hem them. You can just cut them off to the right length. Now, a lot of the sweater knits are going to ravel, so you're going to have to stitch those. A pro tip, if you are stitching things and you're worried about stitching on knits, my pro tip is to use one of two things. Either steam a seam, and what this does is stabilizes this a little bit, okay, while your seam line, so you don't have to worry about pinning and stretching. The other thing you can use is you can use stitch witchery to also stabilize the hem as well. Now, the key thing with stabilizing the hem is you want it, when you stitch, you want it with your hem. The hem is not a stretch point. There's no stretch at the hem. These are a wide leg pant. You do not need to fit them over a boot or anything else. So you're going to use a straight stitch on the hem. So all you have to do is stabilize that stitching line with either the steam a seam or the stitch witchery and stitch right over the top of it. That will help stabilize it a little bit. If you're using a stretch needle, lengthen your stitch length a little bit and go slow. Press well and press that stuff in place so it gives you a little firmness. Some people use spray starch on their knits too if they're really like curly, but you're not making, these are sweater knits, so they're not going to be super curly on the edges, but if you need to, you can always use a little spray starch and that would also help as well to stabilize that. But again, stabilizing that knit makes it a lot easier to sew. You do not need to do that on the inner leg seams. In fact, you really don't even need to pin. Clips would be better. And you just want to make sure that you, at the top, that your top and bottom, everything lines up with your clips, right? So the crotch seam and the hem, so you don't stretch unnaturally one back or front or something like that. And make sure that they're even when you stitch the pattern. So those are my tips for making these basic soft pants. They're super easy to make. They are very rewarding. There's tons of great knits out there. Yes, I have the fast fashion version of these, but I definitely plan on making more out of those knit fabrics that you saw there, particularly those plaid ones. I think are like going to be perfect. I've wanted that for a long time. It's a brushed fabric, Feels super nice. It's got a dress pant kind of look, but hey, it's not dress pants. So it gives you that quiet luxury look. Now, pairing this with a sleeveless sweater like this is also part of the look. And then of course it's cold outside, so I have a little jacket on top, and I like the cropped version. You can also go with a long jacket, you can go with a cozy sweater, you can go with a cardigan. And then of course topping everything would be your long coat, which are super in style right now. And we talked about, I have a great video on easy coats to sew. That's another video, so definitely check that out. Those are my two favorite coats. They are easy, they're beginner-friendly coats. One called the Easy Coat is actually a beginner-friendly coat pattern. So if you've never sewn a coat before and you're kind of afraid to do it, it's a really great way to get started. It's got a lot of wonderful details. Go check out that video. So again, soft basic pants, a cute cropped jacket, a long coat, and you have a very wonderful quiet luxury look that echoes Loro Piana, Quince, and some of those other brands that have the soft sweatery knit look. Super comfortable, super polished. I mean, you can see I could wear this almost anywhere. It's a very polished look. If I put on a pair of dressy heels, I'm good to go. So that's it, soft basic pants. Go ahead and sew yourself some.